Hello, good evening. So I thought I'd hop on tonight and do something fun and kind of take a bit of a break from reviewing the reversals that we've been going over. And this is like one of my favorite things to do is to do spreads out of Sasha Graham's book, which, as you guys know, is entitled 365 Tarot Spreads. So I flipped through tonight and I saw a couple various ones, but the one I'm about to do kind of just jumped out at me like something I want to do. That's very lighthearted and fun, so that's what we're about to jump into. I'm just going to burn a little bit of sage to clean my space and my cards. Give you a little bit of sage. I send all the positive vibes. All right, so I got that going. So the spread that I'm about to do is on page 329 of Sasha's book, and I will be using Mermaid Tarot by Lisa Robertson and Julie Dillon. So figured that would be a nice little change of pace to do a different deck. So, and it's nice. It's a really pretty deck. Just so you can see the back of it. That's what the back of the cards look like here. Just really pretty. It does resonate with my Pisces energy because I am all about that Pisces energy. So let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and read about the Little Mermaid spread. So it would be as of November 17th. It says, on this day, the Little Mermaid movie was released in 1989 and a classic was born. I remember this because I was born in 79. So in 1989, I was 10 years old. So I remember being all about the Little Mermaid when it came out, and I owned the VHS tape with the Little Mermaid. And you know how little kids tend to rewatch things. I rewatched it. Like, I love that movie. And I think it's something, as I've gotten older, my favorite character has shifted. So when I was little, my favorite character, or go figure, was Ariel. Okay. And as I've progressively gotten older in life, I most enjoy Ursula. So despite the controversy over the most recent release of The Little Mermaid by Disney, I did watch it and I actually loved it. I really thought that the actress who played Ariel did a magnificent job. And Melissa McCarthy, I have been a fan of hers since like the Gilmore Girls, where she played Sookie. I thought she made an awesome Ursula. So I would recommend that you watch it. And of course, after I watched The Little Mermaid, because my family has Disney Plus, I watched Beauty and the Beast, which was like the realistic type movie that Disney made. And it was really good. So if you're in a Disney mood, I would recommend both of those. So a summation of the spread is, what do you want to explore? Ariel is a fiercely curious heroine who desires to break boundaries and explore the unknown world beyond her aquatic home. Inspired by Ariel's tenacity, the Little Mermaid spread asks questions to help you dive into adventure and romance. So I'm going to go ahead and move my book over here so I can reference it while I do our spread tonight. Get that situated. And I'm going to move my camera down, and I see my hubby's on here. Hi, honey. So bear with me. There we go. And now I'm going to get a bit of a shuffle on this deck. And as usual, of course, all this is for fun, but I'm going to ask Source or Spirit, whatever you call it, that's what I'm reaching out to. What does our group, like the people who watch and listen to this, what do they need to know based on this spread? What insight will we have? And of course, I'll check out for comments. Just going to get a nice shuffle on it here. So I'm going to go ahead and put out a total of 8 cards. Okay, so I'll do 2 rows of 4. All right. So this row that I'm pointing to is my first row. And remember that you have the mirror image of what I actually have, okay? So this is my left, moving over to my right. This is the second row, moving from my left over to my right. And so I'm going to go ahead and flip all of my cards over. Okay, all right. So we definitely have some things that we'll go over with this spread. So I'm going to start over here with this one. So the first question is, what barrier do I need to break? And we have the Queen of Pentacles. And I'll go ahead and hold that up here so that you can intuitively look at the card. And of course, as I always say, it's totally cool if you intuitively see something different than myself, and it's actually encouraged, because that's the cool thing with tarot. There's no hard set rules, and it's all about what you intuitively see has the most value. So to answer Sasha's question, what barrier do I need to break? What I see here would be with the queens, they all are intuitive. So they all have that watery feminine nature. And what I see here would be our queen, and she is very much in the water, but her garment almost looks like wings to me. So it's rising above. So this could be very symbolic of rising above, feeling very overwhelmed and immersed in emotion, and then holding steadfast to, say, the pentacle here. And the pentacles are all about the earthly comforts. It's about home, the things that we enjoy. Like, so for me right now, a couple of things would be, I do enjoy especially pumpkin spice lattes. I've been drinking some of those lately. I love a good book. I like to play my object finding game on my laptop to wind down. I love enjoying dinner with my family. So for me, that's a few things that ground me and kind of pull me out of the day. It's kind of like a reset button, especially at the end of the day, to where it would be more of my me time. So I think that's the thing of it, is to embrace this Queen of Pentacle energy. What barrier do I need to break? It would be maybe looking at how we ground ourselves day in and day out, because we all deal with stressors every day that come in various forms, right? So how is it, and your ways of doing it may be totally different than mine, do you rise above all of this that can honestly feel like a big weight? Like there's a lot of water here, to where sometimes we feel so immersed, so overwhelmed. How do we rise above that and very much hang on to what's important? And then you see here how there's like a swirling light like above her head. So it's also that illumination, warmth, comfort. It's seeing our trajectory, and knowing that we're in a good place, and being comfortable with that. And so I really like the message that I generally see from looking at this card. And of course, if you see something different, please share that with me. But the Queen of Pentacles probably is one of my favorite queens, because it is all about embracing the comforts of home, and the various things that make you happy in life. Because those are important, and making time for that. So the second question is, who or what stands in my way? And this card makes a lot of sense. So we got the Emperor. So, like you guys know, he is a major arcana card, and he is the father of tarot. This guy reminds me of King Triton, who's Ariel's father, who very much was all about maintaining order and some sort of structure. And Ariel was never a character to want to be where she was supposed to be on time, follow her father's rules. She would go and collect things that humans had lost in the oceans, and even go up on land on the shore looking around, and that upset him. So very much just like in the movie, Who or What Stands in My Way, this could be different things for you and I. So this could be ourselves setting limits on ourselves from trying to, how do I put this? Maybe be a little too hard on ourselves, trying to do the best we can in life, in our personal lives and our professional lives, and maybe we feel like we're not quite measuring up and feeling maybe vulnerable or inadequate, because we all feel that way, more so at other times than, say, we have times of success and victory. I think it's a rarity to always feel like we're doing awesome with the things we do. But this could also stand for a figure in your life where this person or even this situation very much feels like it's oppressive and holding you back from, say, being able to branch out away from all of this turmoil. Okay. So that would be the general energy of this. Because with the Emperor, we're talking the Aries energy. This is not an energy that likes to budge or shift. It's not very flexible whatsoever. And very much like you can tell from his posture, it's very much like my way, you know, very authoritative and stern looking, right? So the third card would be What Gets My Heart Racing? And I love that we have this card for this. We have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is all about that naivety, or naive, how do you say it? That being naive, very green, young, idealistic. The imagination grows a bit wild. So, like in this picture, we're seeing a young boy, and he is communicating with a fish and making friends, right? And very much excited and very present, right? So, as far as what gets my heart racing, it would be tapping into the potential of what could be. What do we dream about? What do we hope or aspire to be, or where do we see ourselves? Is it currently where we are, or maybe is it somewhere else? If you allowed yourself to dream big and not feel constrained by the limitations of life, like this energy, if we didn't have this energy that felt like it was holding us down or holding us back, how would your story look? Where would you be? What would you be doing? Who would you be doing it with? How would your life look differently if you could dream without boundaries or limitations? To dream very much like a child does, being very bright-eyed and optimistic, and allowing the mind to go wild and get creative, and be playful. So it's also kind of breaking away from this serious energy that's quite stifling to more of a very fun, laid back energy, getting back to enjoying life, right? So the fourth card is What New Thing Can I Try? And we have the Strength card. So when I see this, it pretty well shows me that in order to live a life where we feel like we're not constrained or have that stifling energy, like we're being oppressed and not able to grow, it's not going to be an easy task. Because again, we have a lot of inflexibility with the Emperor. Okay, this is a harder energy, very authoritative, right? very just confining. So with this, it's all about being brave enough to progressively, say, little by little, loosening up this net to say free ourselves, to where we can overcome and then move forward in life the way we want to be. And when I see this beautiful well, and I think of it feeling trapped, just like kind of like earlier on in our reading, like we'd love to be in that Page of Cups energy, but yet we're rising above a body of water with the Queen of Pentacles, right? Not allowing ourselves to be fully immersed in water, and then trying to overcome the Emperor, okay? So it's going to take some effort and a bit of bravery and some steady work, and possibly being a bit creative to free the theoretical well from the net, you know? So yeah, so I really, really like that. And the way that she's looking at this whale, like look at their faces, the whale and then the mermaid, and the facial expressions. I feel like that is kind of like important, because it's important to give ourselves a hug. If you know, and I know it sounds silly, but wrap your arms around yourself and give yourself a big hug. Accept hugs or kindness from other people and return that into the universe. You put kindness back out there, because really that's what the world needs as a whole. So I feel the need for us to be kind to ourselves during this process, because again, we could be a little too hard on ourselves, which again goes back to that Emperor energy. The fifth card is what have I always wanted to do? And what I see here would be the Six of Wands. And so this is like a mermaid that has totally embraced their talent. It looks like they're very good at playing with fire. And there's people around the central figure very well astounded by their talent. And so this is that passion, that creativity and flame from a wand, like the Suit of Wands, and harnessing it and focusing and fine tuning it and really getting good at something. So to answer Sasha's question, what have I always wanted to do? I imagine that pretty well answers our question. It's finding something, if we're not already aware of what that is, that we're really, really good at, that we enjoy and find rewarding, and that brings us happiness. It's a bit of a creative outlet, to where that's where we need to be happy, ideally. And that can come in different shapes and forms. So I really like that. I really like that we got that card too for that question. The next question would be, how do I attract new people into my life? And I really love this card too. So look, oh, isn't that a beautiful card? So we have the Five of Cups. And just like I'm going to honor my friend and our fellow group member Honor, when she said with this, it's all about these overturned cups, and looking at how you move forward and how do you want to feel the cups that are remaining. And it's taking the time to grieve and to process. But at some time, you can't stay here. You got to move past this energy and move forward. So, like when I see this little girl here, okay, and she's hanging on to the seal, there's a sadness there. It's almost like that is a goodbye. Um, and so in the background, we've got the village and a lighthouse. So it's kind of like that lighthouse stands for like your true north. It's like the star card in the major arcana. It's like the North Star. It's following your light. Because where they currently are, it's not serving the seal or the little girl. They're at a juncture where they gotta kind of put some closure on some things and move forward, and that may involve saying some goodbyes. So this could be like people and situations that are not good for us. It could be our own tendencies and bad habits that are not good for our bodies, our minds, our emotional and mental well being, that they're pretty much a part of us. They've been a part of us for a long time, and it's hard to say goodbye and part with something like that, you know? But it's necessary to move past this energy. It's just, again, taking time to process that. And again, you take the time you need to do that, but at some point, you got to move forward. The next question would be, will I find love? And we have the Queen of Cups. And when I see her and with the cups, I'm always thinking about that the emotions, right? And love is certainly an emotion. I take this as a resounding yes. That yes, we in all some shape or form will find love in our lives. The Queen certainly has a mastery of her intuitive and emotional state balanced with her logic, and very much so in the classic Rider Waite Smith focuses on her chalice. And with this one, it's just, I love how she's holding the cup close to her core, and she's got like her hand like right up above it, and there's this beautiful shimmery blue cloud drifting like over her shoulder, kind of like a boa or like a beautiful scarf, and it's like she's draping herself in this. So when I see that, I think of like draping ourselves in love. It's like it starts with how we take care of ourselves from the first time we wake up in the morning. What are we doing for hygiene and to take care of ourselves, to show ourselves love? Are we making sure that we are planning as far as taking a water bottle with us so we can stay hydrated? How about eating a good breakfast in the morning? Even if you don't like breakfast, what are you doing for an energy source? What are you doing throughout the day to maybe take breaks during a stressful situation or when things don't go well? What type of coping mechanisms are in place? If you have, say, a medical condition or a psychological condition or whatnot, what are you doing to tend to that and take care of yourself? This also would drape through and carry over to the people we love and care about. You have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of others. And so it's like a ripple effect. So if you take care of yourself, then you've got more energy to give toward the love and care of other people. But I feel like one of the overall messages of this card would be, yes, we all are deserving and you know, entitled of being loved. That is a first and foremost thing as a human being. But again, it starts with us, and again, it ripples out just like that beautiful blue cloud coming out of her cup there. And then the last question would be, what happens as a result of my actions? And I love this card. We have the High Priestess. I love this because it's like an octopus, you know? And she gives me magician vibes. So it's being able, when we love ourselves and take care of ourselves and are open to experiencing love and friendships and all this good stuff with other people, then we have more of a supportive framework to be the best version of ourselves, you know, to manifest. So it's using our skill set and moving forward with that. But it's also embracing how we intuitively feel and listening to our intuition, which serves as a bit of a guide, just like that lighthouse did in this picture. Our High Priestess is very much that little voice inside your head every day, helping to guide you through, you know, daily life and situations. And, you know, at times it can be overwhelming, just like the tentacles of this beautiful lady who's an octopus. She's a half octopus here, right? If she could be a little tricky and sly, maybe a bit of an illusionist, which brings me back to the moon card, where it's like a sense of like what's real and what's not real. and then thinking of the crawfish, crawling up from the bottom to the surface, and all these issues coming up. I feel with time, consistent efforts, letting things go that no longer serves us, um, and kind of slowly chipping away at the very barriers that hold us back from growing and evolving, then we can grow to love ourselves and others more so, and be able to actually be like this high priestess with those magician vibes, and really rock out and own who you are and the beauty that is. And to realize that just like the moon, you and I are always constantly changing, and everything is a cycle. And we have beginnings and endings, and every ending leads to a new chapter, which is also a beginning in our entire life, right? So it's about weathering the storms and learning from them and just doing the best we can, right? So I don't know. I think as a whole, these cards are really cool. I really enjoyed this reading. So yeah, so if you watch this and if you want to contribute a different insight about the cards we reviewed, feel free to leave it in the comments. And I hope you have a restful evening, and I will see you later. Good night.